Okay, well, good morning, and thanks for joining me here. My name is Vincent Meza. This is Listings to Leads, and we're going to talk about our platform, how to use it, and how it's going to help your business grow. So, um, welcome to our family. We've been here for 13 years. A lot of companies don't know about us. A lot of Realty One companies, however, are finding out about us. I'm not sure why that's happening. I know you're to me, you sound like a new agency. And maybe you don't have all the technology that's going to help you with social media and lead capture and online advertising. And our platform definitely has that. So you should by now have an email that has some login codes for you to log in. Use those codes up here where it says my account. Don't start a free trial because it's being paid for at the office level. So if you've already started a free trial, we'll fix that. We just kind of thrown a wrench in that works, no big deal. So I don't think you should try to follow along if you do have your login codes and you're going to kind of, keep up with me because I'm going to move pretty quickly. The point of this call is to show you where to learn about it, how to set it up, and some of the top things to think about when using this platform. So when we look at the website, it's going to tell you you can get buyers or sellers with or without listings. So really, we design a bunch of tools that are going to help you capture buyer or seller leads. And there are times where agents have listings and there are times their agents don't have listings. And so this has got tools for you in all those parts of the business. Before we dive into it though, there's a lot to it. So it can quickly sound overwhelming. And we integrate with like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, CRMs. Like we do so many things that can get overwhelming. And so I always like to talk first about the resources that are available to you. So as soon as you get into your account, go to the support page and ask them to get you in the mastermind group. It's on Facebook, it's private. And if you're not in it, you can't find it, right? You can't see it. So once one of you is in here, you can invite your colleagues and we'll approve them, but it's a private group and I definitely recommend it. It's where my partner Scott and I talk about what's going on, like what we're about to launch, because we're pushing new tools probably every 2 weeks or every month. And then agents are talking about what's working for them, or if they're having trouble, or if they have a question. So there's a whole lot that you can learn by the questions that other agents are doing. This guy here saying, hey, we're having great success, using Craigslist on IVR, which I don't even talk about Craigslist anymore. But we have so many tools that's really what our clients are talking about here. So get the mastermind group. That's the point there. This is leadgenwebinars.com. I'm going to send this to you now in the chat panel. And if you're watching this on a recording, it's just leadgenwebinars.com. We do live training every week. And I think you should all invest a little bit of time in learning how this system works. There are a lot of agents. I'd say we have 10 to 20 agents sign up every day at the agent level, right? And there's a good percentage of those people that forget that they ever signed up. And this does not do much for them except charging $60 a month. But if they actually turn some of the automation on and use some tools consistently, their business is going to show that it's going to grow. They're going to get more leads for either buyers or sellers or whatever they're concentrating. So by joining a live class, you can ask questions. And these are the only classes that we do. We just sort of rotate through them. So it's leadgenwebinars.com. If you don't have time to jump on those live calls, though, this is one of my favorite resources. Now, I'm going to send it to you now, but I'm going to send it to Mary, bless you, after this call. And it's going to say, hey, this is our YouTube channel. And I'm sure she'll send it to you. And it's going to talk about these 3 classes. Get started right here, which is 8 days ago. Top tools for more listings. So if you want more listings in your business, that's probably a good one to watch. And then Facebook and Google ads. And so we're going to talk about all of these things, but we've only got an hour. And each of these classes are each about an hour long. So there are more details that are super, super helpful. And I definitely recommend that you check that out. So you'll have a link. There's a link now on it. It's our YouTube channel, and we're going to email a link to you after this call. So before we get into all that, I want to dive into this mastermind group and give you a little bit of a why. Like, why would I do this? Right? Why would, and because often, a company or someone like Mary will find a platform, invest in it, and agents will go, why? What big deal? I'm going to go do my own thing, right? And so what I do for the company is I set up offices around the country. And I set up this office, it's just south of DC. And this agent was a rookie agent at the time and says, hey, this is our mastermind group. And he says, my highest ROI is one of your tools in your homeowner letter. I'm going to show you where this is. And he says, my wife and I put in a little one-page calendar. We put it in 250 envelopes. We stuffed it ourselves. We even made a little one-page deal of our Zillow reviews. And we mailed it first class to 250 homes. And we got 10 listings, right? So that's awesome. That's really great results. But the reason I want to tell you about Dustin is when he put this in our mastermind group, he was a rookie agent doing 5 million a year. And he is very talks a lot in our group. And we actually have a recorded call with him. He also came in here when somebody asked who here gets 2 listings or more per month strictly from listings to leads, which is a good question to ask, right? Who's doing that? And a lot of people answered that, and he responded with something that I think is worth talking about. He says, we average 2 listings from each marketed listing, all from L2L tools. Trying to get that to about 3. So what he's saying is every time he markets 1 listing, he gets 2 or 3 more listings on average. That's what he's doing. So that gets to another question of what's the magic pill for more listing. And it's really our system. It's not one tool. It's use the whole system and it will start to really pay dividends. But this guy was a rookie here doing 5 million a year. We have a recorded call with him because he's been a great client. And 2 years later, he went from 5 to 20 million. On this call. He said, the reason I want to get on this call with you guys is that I went from 5 to 20 million in 2 years. I was in business for 2 years. 80% of my business is coming from your tools. And I was kind of floored. I was like, well, that's a crazy number. And I said, well, how much time do you put in listings to leads to do that? To go from 5 to 20. And he said, I do 2 hours a week. I put my daughter in ballet and I go next door to Starbucks and I do my work, and that's what I do. That's how I did this. So you all have an email that should give you login codes to get into this platform. And now you know where you can learn about our system. So let's talk about how you're going to set it up. Okay. And I recommend when you log in, we're going to drop you right here. And frankly, it's we call it like an account wizard site. But I think it's missing a couple things, like literally that it's critical. So I like to go down to the profile. And again, don't follow me along here, just see what's happening. And we're recording this and you can follow me along later. If your picture is not here, you can put your picture there. We have it, I think, for almost everybody. If you have reviews on Zillow, check this box here and we will sweep those reviews and put them on your tools when appropriate. This says social media links, and this is if you have social media accounts and you want us to put like follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook or whatever. This is where you put those there, and you go over here to the website and you go find your page and you copy it there just like this, and then you paste it right there, right? And then you save it, and that will be there. And then it'll show up when appropriate. Credentials is your ID and password. You can change your password. There is a lead gen signature down here, which can be copied and embedded. Before we started the call, some of you were watching that I was doing these lead gen links. And these are the links that we were creating. And this is for the office, so we'll dive into it. But just as a point out, in your signature, you can have links that are pointing directly to your website with the key towns that you're talking about. So Those links will flow through a lot of tools. We'll look at those later. But on profile, this is probably one of the most important pieces right here. It says auto posting. And you need to click in here. Now, I'm going to click here and it's going to take me to Facebook, maybe if my computer doesn't act like a jerk. And it's going to say continue as your personal name. Okay, whatever your name is. Click yes. And the very next page is going to say, great, what business page are you on, right? What business page are you talking about? Oh, I hit the wrong button. So you can choose multiple business pages on Facebook, right? You might have community pages, might have multiple business pages. You can choose them all. And when we're posting, I'll show you what that kind of looks like a little bit later. I would recommend, even if you don't use Twitter or LinkedIn, to go find your old dusty passwords and put them in there, because we're going to auto post. And these posts have landing pages behind them. So it's a free way to capture leads. It's also great in a listing presentation to be able to say, I put your listings on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. You don't have to tell them that we're doing it for you automatically. You're just saying that's part of what I do, right? So connect there and then take this step. Right underneath it, it says listings. And this box is empty, and it's a Facebook rule that you have to click that button, which copies this content and puts it here, and click save. That way, when we're auto posting, it's dynamically pulling your name and property description and embedding it in the automated post. So I'll show you a little bit later what that looks like. If you want, you can also have us auto post home valuation ads on your social media too. You just choose the frequency, you copy and paste, and you click save, right? Now, even if I was to save this, nothing would happen because we don't have any social media accounts connected. We also have down payer assistance, landing pages. We can do this automatically, and new construction. You'd have to turn it on and save it, right? Mary, do you all use the same kind of CRM?
No.
Okay. So we have CRMs for many of the top APIs for many of the top CRMs, right? And so if you see yours here, great. If you don't, you might find a plugin with API Nation or Zapier. And if you don't have those as options, your CRM ideally has a unique email address, like Follow Up Boss used to have, like Vincent with 13 numbers behind it, right? At followupboss.com. And that was a unique email address that was specifically for each agent. If your CRM does not have an API, does not have work with API Nation or Zapier, and does not have a forwarding email address, I recommend that you change CRMs, because that's very low automation. In this way, if they have just a simple email address and we send leads there, they're going to scrape them and drop them in your CRM, and then there you go. Then the automation happens. If you don't have yeah.
Can I have a quick question? Is what you're going through now, the profile for each individual agent? This is not the group. This is each individual agent?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
So each person has to do this, what we're doing here. Now, along the lines of, let's just make sure we're cool here. Yeah, along the lines of CRM is something here. If you don't have a CRM, well, let's just click on follow-ups and we'll cut to the chase. If you don't have a CRM, or you feel like the CRM is not really doing a whole lot for me, meaning converting your leads, then come here and turn this on. We've written our own follow-up campaigns. I'm pretty sure I can safely say we are definitely the leader in overall lead capture. We can capture leads from so many resources, so many ways. And so part of what we want to do going forward, and we started last year, and this is part of it, and we're going to get better at it, is helping our clients convert leads into business. And so our first step into that is follow-up plans, right? And what that means is we've written our own follow-up plans, both in English and in Spanish, for either buyers or sellers. Now, we're not like a full-fledged CRM, but we have clients, like one of our clients is one of the only 3 national trainers of KV Core. KV Core is pretty big CRM out there today. And they're A/B testing our drip campaigns to theirs. And he's like, you guys are outperforming ours. Now, KV Core does a lot as a CRM, right? Because those things are big, weird software platforms. We're not doing all that. We capture leads and we are writing a follow-up campaign that is helping our clients convert leads. So if you don't have a good drip campaign, you might just want to go bang and just turn it on. You can click in here and see what we've written. You can even edit it if you want. I don't really recommend that, but they're, realtors who don't sleep, and that's fun stuff for them. So that's follow-ups right there. That's kind of, you can turn it on if you want it. You don't have to. Another thing that you should set up is here. It's called social. There's a social tab. And it's going to be kind of tricky, but it's better if I showed you a live account, but let's just stay here. It's going to ask you to connect your social media accounts again. So you're going to feel like, wow, I already did this. I already connected to social media before. But we actually have different APIs from these companies to do different things. And what we're doing here is you're going to connect to all your favorite social media accounts. We're going to ask you, what frequency do you want us to post on? And then up here, we've got topics, which you can't get to. There are like about 50 topics, like kitchen design, garage design, outdoor living, landscaping, all these things about real estate, but not really about mortgage rates and like what's happening in, not that industry financial news. It's more like soft content, not a great area for lead capture. This is the only area that we've ever designed that is not having a lot of hooks or call to action, but it's great photography. It looks good, well written, simple. We're not writing big, paragraphs of stuff. And our clients who are using it, they're saying, wow, we're getting interaction. People are seeing these and they're responding to them. And that's good. They don't have to do it. They can just turn it on and they don't have to go look for their own content to keep their stuff going. If you're on, there's a tab here that says settings. If you're on Instagram, I highly recommend this page. It's called Links in Bio. And one thing about Instagram is it's hard to get leads off of it. It's easy to build a network because people like pictures and they follow you. But you can copy this link and you can embed it in your profile. It will have all your listings. It'll have PDF guides that we've designed for you that people can download right from Instagram. And then your favorite landing pages, right? So something to help you capture leads if you're building a network. If you are writing or posting on Instagram, I would definitely recommend that you use that link, embed it in your profile, and always put, see link in profile for more info. So it's that sort of thing, almost like a link tree. So that's kind of almost all the setup except for ads. And this is where really the most important thing is going on. And so again, like Mary said, each agent needs to log in and do this. They need to connect to their Facebook account. And they also need to connect to their Google ad account. So, I do the training on ads for years, and many agents, somewhere between 50 to 75% of the agents that I talk to have run an ad on Facebook, right? They understand it. Everybody's doing it. It's kind of easy to figure it out. A lot of people have run ads and have not any success. We make it very successful to run ads on Facebook. I'll show you in a few minutes. But as successful as Facebook is, it is where people, they spend 45 minutes a day here. The average American spends 45 minutes a day scrolling through nonsense like this, right? Seeing what their kids and their friends are doing and where people are going on vacation. That is what Facebook is about. So if you run an ad, it shows up right here and you can go, oh, okay, yeah, I'm interested in that open house or whatever it is you're writing an ad about. And that's why Facebook ads work really well. But when people have questions, they don't go to Facebook for an answer. They come to Google. 86% of all searches begin on Google worldwide. And how, do I sell my home is a trending search right now. And if you don't have a way to run ads on Google, You cannot take advantage of that trend, right? And right here is where you connect your own Google account, and then you can run ads with our landing pages, and you can run ads with our PDF guides. We're going to go into all this. And you can also run ads on your listings that are sold or under contract. And all of those things are designed to get listing leads and give information to people who have questions. So that's the setup part. We're going to click all that and turn all that on. And then we're going to get into really what's under the hood, where you live on it. I think really where you're going to live is listings and on ads. Okay. And let's go to listings here. And this is going to look slightly different because right now we just have fake listings in here until you get real listings in there. And somebody has one, Mary. Looks like you've borrowed it though, Mary. I can tell, like you kind of.
Yes, I did a new home. I grabbed it. I was practicing the grab tool.
Yeah. So let me look at this real quickly. Yeah, cool. So when your listing comes in, and you can grab one, like Mary said, you kind of want to know the rules. Like sometimes you have to talk to people if you're going to market a listing. I don't know what your local MLS rules are. For some agencies, if you have a listing in your home, like Realty One, they may say, yeah, you can market any of those, just email the agent, something like that. But once you're there, this is what you can do with a platform. You can run an ad on Facebook and Instagram in one click, right? So if Mary, she is connected. All you have to do is click create an ad. So if you've ever run an ad on Facebook, you might know it's about 3 or 4 pages and about a dozen clicks to have a successful ad. This is a 7-day ad for $35. On average, seller or buyer leads, and this home is for sale, so it's going to be asking for buyers. It's going to capture leads at about $2 a click, right? Or $2 a lead. That's about average. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. We can see the ad here, what it looks like. You can click in it, and you can say, if there's something that we have not put in this ad, you can say, great schools, right? Or whatever the name of the school district, if that's kind of a deal. And you can do that there and then publish, create ad. And that's going to create that ad. It's going to look just like that. It's going to look like that right here, right? And there's going to be a big button that says learn more on it. And when that button is clicked, it kind of opens up a window like this chat panel here. But it says, would you like more information, right? And it has their name, phone number, and email address already populated from their profile. So they're not typing anything in here, right? They're just, yes, I want information, boom, are you sure? And they click yes, and that's how they give you the information, their contact information, and then they can immediately look at the single property website that has all the details on this. So that's why it's so easy and effective to capture leads on Facebook. And if you're looking for buyer leads, that is the simplest way to get buyer leads. We also have Google software here. And honestly, I don't think it's smart to market a particular listing on Google. We do it because we just launched this. There's a big important reason why to use Google. I don't think that's it. Social media posts is here. And this is where you would see that social media auto posting. So you remember that I was saying, hey, we could post now, but this usually happens automatically. And behind it, we're going to have a landing page like this. And if people want details on this home, they got to click that blue button, and people click that blue button like in a blink of an eye. And that grabs their name and email, and we send it to the agent that's using that tool. So I definitely recommend social media auto posting. That's what it does there.
Vincent,
Yeah.
I had
Yes.
a question. So going back to Facebook and Instagram ads, I noticed that you said there was a charge for it. Now, would you say, are we getting it at a discounted price compared to as if we were just to go on Facebook ourselves and do this without, listing to leads?
No. That you see that $35 there?
Yeah.
That $35 is going to Facebook.
Gotcha.
And that's just what it is, like the full amount there. And
Okay.
so Facebook charges like a per lead cost, right? Like for buyer leads, they say, yeah, buyer leads cost you in Arizona $2 a lead. There is no discount because, we're not setting that price. This Facebook sets that price.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
So this tool here is called the Nearby Homeowner Letter, okay? And this is the #1 tool for getting more listings or for getting listing leads that turn into listing contracts. So if you remember, I was talking about a guy named Dustin Fox, and he mailed this letter out to 10 homes and he gets, or to 250 homes and pulls 10 listings. This is the letter. It is not artificial intelligence. It's not, algorithms. It just says, we got a home for sale in your neighborhood. Scan that or go to that website to go find out more about it and become a buyer lead. And then we always say that's going to affect your home value. So go here and go find out your free, what your home is worth, right? So a lot of people are familiar with this kind of page. A lot of agents are. There are a lot of companies that create it. It's been around for probably close to 10 years. And they run ads on Facebook on it. And that is that used to be an awesome thing to do. It's not as awesome anymore. We'll talk a little bit about that. But when you drive people to that same kind of landing page from a piece of paper that says, I'm selling a home in your area, not many people see this, only the people you're targeting. And that's what makes this really powerful. The simplest way to target is door knock, and it's in the neighborhood. They're neighbors. I'm selling a home in your neighborhood. When we go to our mastermind group, you'll notice that our clients talk a lot about this tool. And this guy came in the group and says, hey, you know what? I got 5 listings in 3 months. And by the way, he moved from out of state and started using this tool. He borrowed listings and used that letter from borrowed listings and would mail it every 2 weeks. The recipe for how he did it is right here. He would mail it every 2 weeks to his neighbors who owned a home for 5 years or more. And then once they opted in on the home valuation page, he hit them up every week with phone calls, bomb letters via mail, and letters left at the door. That is literally the recipe for more listings. He borrowed the listing, he downloaded this letter, and he mailed it out every 2 weeks. And whenever somebody went here, they took the piece of paper in the house, they went to their own computer, they type in their address and blah, blah, blah. Those are the people he targeted. That guy moved from out of state that summer, which is super cool, becomes a top listing agent. And at the beginning of last year, 2022, he started his own office. And the very first thing he does is creates a training video on how he uses our platform. Now he customizes our platform so that he can recruit to tell people, I'm going to get you productive, right? I would recommend you check out this guy's name, read what was said by other agents and him in that previous one, and also maybe follow what he's talking about with our system. He's perhaps smarter than I am on what we do. So anyway, that is the Nearby Homeowner Letter. A lot of our clients use this letter twice per listing, like just listed and just sold, or open house and just sold, because this is the most effective way of getting more listings. If you're working in like a golf community, if you've got a big condo building, our clients love how this thing works. If you've got a big database or CRM of hundreds or thousands of agents, you might want to use this. It's the electronic version. You can copy it right here and blast it out on your CRM. Buyer leads on the top, seller leads on the bottom, and there you go. This section here is new, and I do want to talk about it. It's not for everybody, but if you know anything about social media like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and of course TikTok, they are all about video. They're moving to video. And I think as realtors, we are not all comfortable, one, with social media, but certainly we're definitely not comfortable creating video content, right? If you were like in your teens and you're an influencer, you do that in your sleep. But if you're the average realtor, this is not in your wheelhouse. You can download this here, read it a couple times, whip out your fancy smartphone, record that call, or maybe put it on a little tripod and do it, or however you want to do it. And then you've got content that you can use on all the best platforms. So I do recommend that you get yourself in that mode, because that is a big part of brand building on social media, and social media consumes a lot of hours for a lot of people, so it's worthwhile being there. Now, we do create single property websites and virtual tours. We have super luxury views if you've got like a really marquee property, but I always recommend lead gen views because it's really wired to capture leads. If you've got open houses, go into the property, click edit, save the open house, and then use all the tools that we're going to email to you automatically. They're mobile optimized. This is an online sign-in form at the event. There's just a lot of ways of capturing both buyer leads and seller leads with this. If you want, you can use our sign writers. We do create QR codes for everybody. And I know since COVID, people are more comfortable with QR codes. But if you're using our text service, when you text one number to another number, we email that phone number to you. And that's a great kind of lead. If somebody scans that with their smartphone, we don't know who that is. It's not until they get to the actual tool that ideally we capture them as a lead. So it doesn't matter. You can use these. They're just designs. You can use our sign writer company to do that. It's just a partner that prints that. You also have Craigslist and QR codes, right? So that's the listing marketing side. I want to jump over to landing pages because each agent needs a handful of landing pages, and specifically home valuation landing pages. You get these by default, right? Free home values. Now, I don't know if this looks like Chandler, right? And if it doesn't,
No.
yeah. If it doesn't look like your local area, click edit and upload an image that's 2,000 pixels wide in a landscape format, right? Not in a portrait format. So 2,000 pixels wide. And on this is actually an important thing to think about. A lot of people think they need to put like the new $1 million homes on the back of a page like that, but that's actually not what gets people to click. It's when you put something that everybody knows. This I rolled out in Summit, New Jersey, which is a town of 22,000 people. When Coldwell Banker started using our system, the manager called me a month later and said, "We're getting so many leads, it's crazy." But the craziest thing is our best home valuation ad is the one with the Summit Diner in the back. And you can see this thing, right? It's like, you go there for the greasy potatoes on the weekends, and it's like an old converted railroad car look. So if you know Summit Diner, you know Summit, New Jersey. And that's really what you want to convey, especially if you're asking people with a page like this to give you their address and contact information. You have to have some sort of trust that you don't look like a national spam campaign, like, "Hey, I know your area." So definitely create these landing pages and customize it. So here's how you create them. And you do have a half dozen towns where you're growing business. So do this for each town. Go to create a landing page. You want to create a property valuation plus. There are landing pages for expireds, for nearby homes sold, for FSBOs. So you can create any of these that you want, but I'm going to concentrate here and I'm going to just type in Chandler and click create landing page. And we're going to drop you on the editor. And the first thing we're dropping you on, and you can tell this is super generic here, right? Like a coffee cup or whatever. Upload your photograph here and just have it be 2,000 pixels wide, and boom, that's it. And it'll replace this here. And then we can do things with it, right? But one thing I want to point out is over here in advanced options, we have a print marketing section, which means we're going to create a letter that looks a lot like that top tool for more listings. But this has nothing to do with a listing. We call it kind of a home sold report. It's one of the many awesome tools that are buried deep in the system. So I do recommend, if you want more listings, you might want to think about getting this. Now, it would have whatever picture you put in there, and it's always looking back a month, like, hey, and so we don't have a dynamic way to pull these numbers. You might want to get those from your local MLS or real estate article, like, hey, 30 homes sold in Chandler that made it 400 for the year, the median price is here. Go, that affected your home value, and you know that that's going to get seller leads for you, right? So I definitely recommend doing that, but probably the more popular way of using that, well, actually, a lot of our clients like to use the mailers because they're not too comfortable with the quality of leads that come from Facebook when you're trying to get listing leads, but they are comfortable by knowing who they're targeting with a piece of paper and a mailing. And so that can be really, really useful. So that's landing pages. And now we've already talked about listings. Let's talk about ads. So we're not connected here. So I'm going to jump out of this and I'm going to jump into a new account to kind of show you what can be done, right? And how you can do it. So I can tell you just what's going on in the market. It's kind of a bit of a side note is with mortgage rates going up, you probably know that's in some markets, things have slowed down a little bit. Buyers are like sitting on the fence. And so for some of our clients, they are saying that, yeah, we've seen our lead gen drop off pretty dramatically. This client I launched at the end of August. So this is just over 2 months old, 60, maybe 70 days max. And their goal is just to generate leads, right? And they work for an expansion, they're an expansion team, which means that they have agents all throughout North and South Carolina. And so they're taking listings from those agents and they're running the ads so that the agents don't have to. And this is the results of about 70 days. They've run 108 campaigns. They spent $9,000, which is nobody's, that's the highest I've seen in any of our offices. But they generated 3,300 buyer leads, okay, in 60 days. And I think another important thing is over 500,000 people have seen their business page on Facebook. So it's great for building your brand. And in this case, these buyer leads are what? They're maybe $250 a buyer lead. That's what it looks like, right? Here's how you create an ad on Facebook for a listing. You click create list, you create Facebook ad, you create a listing ad here, and you choose a property that's for sale. When you're logged in as an agent, you will not have this option of sending leads to the officer. Always leave it on lead ads. This means we're getting pre-populated leads with name, email, and phone number. Just leave it there. Click create an ad. And you do see the option where it says traffic. I think it's really rare that you need to do traffic. And if you think you need to run a traffic ad, shoot me an email and let me know what you're thinking that you're going to be doing. I think it's way more important to capture name, phone number, and email. And that's why lead ads are the way to go. So here we pre-written the ad. We have a picture up front. It's going to say your business page, right? Your agent business page. All you have to do is click publish, and that's going to create the ad, as opposed to doing it on Facebook, which good luck if you can keep up with how fast they're changing their website. We have their software. We can tell by what you're clicking, what your goal is, and we check all the boxes that you need to know how to check. So that's all this guy is doing. He's done it about 100 and something times, maybe 100 ads, and he's generated over 3,000 leads. But that's not the only thing you can do with the system. You can create ads for landing pages. So we created a landing page for Chandler there. Well, this one doesn't have Chandler. We have one for South Carolina. But this is a home valuation landing page. And I am showing you that you can do this, but I am going to tell you that I don't highly recommend this kind of ad. It might be worth testing, but for a lot of clients, it's not very effective. And here's the reason why. if you type, and it might work. Let's type in Scottsdale, and let's assume that we have a page that says what is your Scottsdale home worth, right? We've created a Scottsdale page, it's got a picture or whatever, and we do this, we publish. The problem when this stopped working is when Facebook got smacked by HUD and they said, you cannot target homeowners and you can't target by zip code. That's when this kind of ad became problematic. It's about 4 years ago. And why that becomes a problem is just if we go look at the real world, Scottsdale is in the middle of all kinds of places, right? And so all these people, this is a 15-mile radius ad. That means that this ad is being seen by everybody that lives around Scottsdale. And that alone, I think, is what's making this ineffective for many people. It's worth trying. Right now, I tell people it's good for branding because you're letting people know, but that's not a great use of money. So with that, let's kind of take a quick break and talk about our fancy YouTube channel. Because if you go here, and like I said, I'm going to send you a link to this, and you go back a couple months ago, and you look at the little white titles under these things, you're going to see that I talk about this thing. Well, I'm going to find it for you on how to get custom audience, how to target homeowners. So there's a couple hoops to do this, but if you are really focused on getting more listings in your business, this is something that I recommend that you go find. How to essentially, it's go buy a custom audience from anybody. You might get it from your title partner of all the homeowners in Chandler, all the homeowners in Scottsdale. These lists need to be 1,000 leads deep, not 500, not 200, 1,000 leads or more. And then you can upload them on Facebook. They live in Facebook and you can then target. And that's what makes these ads really work really well. So that one, wherever I was, custom audience here, if you go back a couple months more, best way to get listings from Facebook is here 5 months ago. New strategy to get high quality listings from Facebook. I say the same thing in 3 different classes, but I'm not exactly a robot, so maybe there's something different. You might want to scan those if you want more listings. Otherwise, I'm not a big fan of running that kind of landing page ad on how to get your home value. But on PDF guides, we create 80 PDF guides, 80, and you are branded as the agent on each page of each guide. Half of them are for buyers and half of them are for sellers. So you can decide which ones you want to do and just say, oh, you know what, I'm going to talk about overpricing, right? 5 dangers of overpricing. Click create an ad, lead ad. So we get name, email, and phone number, pre-populated. And yeah, we write the ad, right? It's already, all you got to do is type in whatever town you want to focus on. Now here, you could actually expand it because it's not really about a particular area, right? So you could say Chandler and Scottsdale because they're kind of far away or whatever. And, you can expand the radius and that's, I think, still going to work for you. You just want to sort of be aware of how far out you are advertising. We talked about creating a custom audience. This is where you take advantage of it. You say, retarget current leads. And this is actually, we changed that. But you can actually type in the name of your custom audience. Now, I don't know if this guy has done it, but he's using our stuff. So we actually, if you turn on retargeting, you turn that on the Facebook page, we start to create a file in your Facebook account that will live in your Facebook account, even if you stop using us, of all of the leads that you capture from us. And then from here, you can retarget those people, right? And that's important if you want to convert leads, right? A lot of agents feel like, I capture a lead, I call them once or twice, and they didn't turn into a contract, and that was a crap lead. That is not a crap lead. That's just not reality. You have to touch a lead, I don't know, 7 to 10, 15 times, depends on what guru you're talking to. this is a great way to stay in front of them. Is like if you got them as a lead, retarget your ads every time you're running an ad or every once in a while to stay in front of those people. So you can run any of the 80 PDF guides. You can run ads on landing pages and run ads on listings. I do want to talk a little bit about seller leads. I think this is an important place for many realtors. They want more listings. And one thing that we have noticed is if you are marketing a home that is under contract or pending or any later stage other than sold, Facebook does not know how to price that. And so they price these leads very cheaply. And our clients have come back in the mastermind group and said they're getting seller leads with name, email, and phone number for $2.50. Okay. Even $2.38, which is really an incredible value. It's an incredible price to capture the name, phone number, and email of a homeowner that's interested in selling your home. So I would recommend testing that out. And so when we're looking at this, it says $50, 7 days. So as I mentioned, this lead could cost $2.50. So you might expect to get 100 leads from that, right? And this is just a discussion right now about listing lead costs on Facebook. If you run an ad on a sold property, Facebook knows the value of that more, and they charge that lead around $6 to $7. Okay. So if you ran one home as under contract, and then 2 weeks later, you say it's sold and you run an ad on it again, same property will develop seller leads at a different cost. If you run an ad on a PDF guide, one of the 40 for homeowners, like here, Fortune Real Estate, these leads are often priced around $10 a lead. So you spend $50, you get 5 leads. Okay. I actually think there's a value of doing these sorts of things because it really, even though the lead cost is higher, it starts to really position you as a resource in real estate, right? Like you have a lot of value, you have a lot of topics about real estate that you can share with people. And that's a big part of advertising, right? That people know what you can do. And then the last one for getting listing leads is, home valuation ads. And as I mentioned, Facebook knows this ad. Like they've seen realtors do this because boomtowns have these landing pages. Prime Seller has been out there. Homevalues.com has these pages. Market Leader used to create these home valuation landing pages, right? And so, well, I can't get it to work. There we go. And of course, we've had it in many other companies that have landing pages with these kinds of concepts. So Facebook charges the most. A lead like this can often cost $12 to $15 from an ad like this. So now your $50 is going to get you 3 leads, right? So you might want to test all these things out. Again, when we look over at the YouTube channel, there are a lot of ways to capture listing leads, and I cover it in the top tools to get more listings 2023. Facebook has a lot of good ways, but there are even better ways than Facebook ads. So I would be reviewing that when you get time. So that's kind of listings to leads. I don't know if you have questions. I know I was yammering on for quite a while. But it's a very powerful platform. You can do a whole lot of marketing, and there are a lot of ways to capture leads. And I'm sure there's a few ways that I forgot to mention here. But that's why we have our live training, and that's why we have our YouTube channel. I think once you get your arms around it, and if you start to use these tools consistently, your business will grow as a result. So, any questions?
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
On the landing page for the home value, so they put in their email address, and then what happened? What do they see after that?
Yeah. Okay. Give me 1 second. We'll go over to my account.
Okay.
I hate to do this in kind of live accounts because they're getting a lead and they're calling me all day. Landing page. Yeah. So On a landing page like this one here, whenever you see an eyeball over here, that means you can click on it and see it, right? And so this is kind of a customized one that I did. I put in a little video here of the local golf course, because this is about a golf course community. So it says start with your address, right? 1595 Huston Road. And many people are very comfortable putting their address in, just like this, and click here, right? But not as many people are comfortable with page 2. And this is what page 2 looks like. Here's your home, and your report's ready. What's your email address? And a good portion of people will leave this page before they give you that email address. So that's kind of an issue. But if they give it to you and they say, well, I'm thinking about selling or whatever reason, view my report. We use a company called Onboard Infometrics, which goes out and goes to companies and says, you know, they're looking at data coming from transactions. Let's see, what neighborhood average, low price hybrid. So what we're not giving is like that dreaded Zillow estimate, a hard number on your home. What we're saying is here's the range, and is this too low? Is this right? Multiple call to actions to get people. Would you like to schedule, you know, an appointment? Do you need expert advice? So multiple call to actions to get people to interact and say, well, okay, if they don't book an appointment, well, you're still, you know what address they have, and you know their email, and you can sort of, you know, work your magic there in converting that kind of lead. This is what they see, and you get copied on these values and with the email address and with the address, so you kind of know what's going on. So how you get people to that page is really, you know, where you have to think about, right? What do I want to drive them there from a Facebook ad, from a Google ad? And actually, I highly recommend that you think about running people here from a Google ad, because that is where, and I'm going to share something with you right now. This tool, this is that piece of paper, so that's driving people to it as well. This is on the advanced options of every landing page. So that's a great way to create the landing page, get the custom picture on it, and then use this letter and mail it out or door knock it if you want, or get it in the public, however you can. But where was I going? Oh yeah, top. Yeah. This is not written by us, what I'm showing you here. But I'm going to give this to you right now because I think it's important to think with Google, right? And the reason why I'm telling you this is, I mentioned it earlier, but 86% of all searches on the internet begin on Google. And most agents don't have any way or concept of how to take advantage of that, right? This page here might help you, and I recommend that you review it. It's by Virtuance. It was updated in October. And these are the keywords that people are using if they're buyers. Okay, these are the top keywords on a monthly basis. And if they're sellers, these are the keywords. So you might want to have ads that are using these. These are what people are searching on right now. So if you know what they're searching on, and you don't have to use this article, but maybe go find something that you believe in more than this, you should then kind of tie that with the concept that 86% of all searches begin on Google. And you don't have to use our software, but you should have a strategy to take advantage of that, because it is a trending search for two reasons. People want to sell their home, and people must not know realtors because they're going to Google to find out about how to sell their home. So to take advantage of that, create a landing page, get over to our ad section and run an ad on Google. That would be my recommendation. And
Vince, are there other new construction? I hate to edit the one new construction there over and over again, but I didn't see it in the drop down, so we could leave those 3 templates there.
God, if it's not there, I think the reason why it's not there, we kind of should do it, is it's basically a custom landing page for buyers. It's kind of our
Okay, that's what I'm doing, yeah.
yeah, and it's basically the exact same thing. And so let's kind of let's just kind of create one just to show you. But obviously these are not going to say Toll Brothers probably going to have a particular development is what you're working on. And a lot of our clients will create a landing page like this and go out to the builder and say, hey, would you like me to market this? And can I get paid if I close these, right? And you can take a picture, you can get a model picture, maybe they have some already designed. This lead form text is always like this blank weird stuff here, but you can change that here and save it, and you can customize that there. It's kind of my understanding that builders are using incentives again, right? Like there's an incentive.
Right.
Yeah. So you might want to go to custom page content, click on a countdown timer, and say, new kitchen, if you decide, if you sign before whatever, right? And then you put in the deadline, right? And when you save it, it's going to look something like that, right? So you can do a little bit with this. You can also, as I showed you from that other landing page, get a YouTube video and snap it right there in that box too. If you want to do anything like that, and this seems like, not intuitive, just email me and I'll get on the phone with you and kind of walk you through that.
Okay, so let's say we want to run something like this in, there's a part of Phoenix that, because Phoenix is so large, it's called Ahwatukee, and we would like to put it there because we don't want to go downtown Phoenix or North Phoenix. How can we use zip codes? How do we pinpoint the Ahwatukee area, which is a big area? Other than custom audience, but
that is,
we just wanted.
If you're doing it with Facebook, it has to be a custom audience. You will not be able to target like that with Facebook. And I think that even Google kind of has a little bit of a, you can't target that well as well, but you might be able to target with zip code on Google. Or what are you going to be advertising there? Just everything, like buyers or sellers? You just want to dominate that area?
Correct.
Right.
Kim,
Yeah.
do you want to jump in here?
Well, it's comprised of 3 different zip codes. The Ahwatukee Foothills community is, but it's it's its own master planned communities. Well, actually 3 master planned communities combined, and they are on the outskirts, if you will, of Phoenix. So saying Phoenix doesn't define, I mean, that's, it is the Ahwatukee Foothills community.
Yeah. And so my question is, what are you doing there? Or is it like, are these all?
Can you see where it says South Mountain Park Preserve down at the bottom, right below Phoenix, and then go straight down?
Yes.
South Mountain. Okay, so if you draw a triangle from 202, right, the triangle right below that, that is the area, that entire area. Go over to 202 up to 10, that's the area.
Okay. And so I guess what you're trying to achieve here is you just want to dominate this, whether it's buying or selling. Is that correct?
I'd like to target that specific area. I feel like others in our group too may have, instead of just saying Gilbert or Queen Creek, there are some very large master plan communities within our cities. And, as specific as we can get towards marketing them by name, I think it helps brand us, to those areas better.
Yeah. So when you're thinking about,
so you can't draw an area on the map, in other words.
Correct.
Okay.
That's like illegal.
Okay, got it.
By HUD standards, and so they force those rules on Facebook. So you can target, you can change the name. You want the name to not speak to Phoenix, and you know how to do that because you just customize that and you call it whatever you want.
Yeah, well, you don't want to rule out others as well. It was just a matter of trying to create some identity in a community.
Yeah, well, the way I would do that, even though Mary has said you don't want to do that, I think that a custom audience in that area, getting that list of for mailing, for physical mailing, and also taking that list and uploading it up to Facebook as a custom audience and targeting ads. So now if you target with that ad, and let's say you have a list of all the homeowners in that area, you can then say, I want them to see that we sold a home. I want them to see like this is what's happening with home values or whatever. That would be the way to target that.
So like, for instance, work with our title company and give them the criteria that we're looking for. Okay, so and that's all great. However, what we're up against too is that potentially 50 to 60% are all we're going to get for emails and phone numbers. Which is, again, okay. I mean, it's still a big playing field, but
I mean, I wish there was that's maybe one of the best solutions you can find.
okay.
There is Remine out there. I think HomeSnap and maybe a few other companies that sell that kind of data. If your goal is to dominate this for multiple years, you're probably going to want to focus on how you get that data set and as good as you can. That's just part of it. And then how do you leverage that data set? Right. You're
Right.
You're in a competitive market. There are more agents than your office. And that's going to be like important for you to get your arms on if your goal is to do that.
And then if you wanted to do it, like a lot of, all of us live in different neighborhoods, so we would like to, again, even, filter down to closer. So let's say the subdivision I live in is called Cabrillo Canyon, but there's only 250 homes in my subdivision. That's still a decent number. And I'm sure that kind of relates to several of us in the group that we have, specific neighborhoods that we'd like to invest more money in and, get closer to. But to create a custom audience, you have to have 1,000.
Yes.
So again, the 250, can't do that. Okay.
You see what we're looking at here? This is how this guy is dominating his own neighborhood where he just bought a home. And he's doing this nonstop. He bought that list and he's mailing it. You're not going to be able to target 200.
Okay, got it. Mm-hmm.
So it's a combination of print and online and Google and Facebook that I think you have to figure out, like, depending on that target, what platforms can I use? Another good thing to think about as well is as you're developing your CRM, you should tag those people in that area, right? Like, hey, we've got something that's new that's happening here. I want to make sure that in my CRM, I've got them all tagged so I can blast them like, hey, we just got a new listing in this area, or hey, we just sold a home, right? So your CRM, typically, it's like where leads go to die, right? But we have tools that are going to help you reactivate and keep those people going because our tools are just simply made with multiple call to actions and hooks to pull them out.
Yeah. So another question regarding the 15-mile radius. So like if I were to put in an address in this case, let's say Tempe, the 15-mile radius is still going to include all of my community. Is the 15-mile radius the set radius, or can that radius be changed?
It can be expanded.
But not, it's a minimum of 15 miles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was HUD figured that was a way for ads to be non-discriminatory.
So this is
Something that I'm working on. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no,
Kim.
go ahead. No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
One thing that I was working on in my subdivision is using one of your landing pages with a picture of the community on it, kind of like you did for San Antonio there,
Yeah.
and for a home value. and or not a home value. It just says get more information about listings in the area, and I'm attaching it to my website search so they can see all the listings in that area.
Mhm.
And I thought that was helpful for buyers looking for homes in a certain subdivision. Because I live in a particular golf course community, so but I would have to get a custom audience. Now, you mentioned you upload the custom audience. I was under the impression that we upload those CSV files into Listing to Leads, and not so. You put them into Facebook.
No, that's correct. So well, you're doing it inside of our platform, but it's actually, we're taking it and we're simplifying the process to get it into your Facebook account. So creating custom audiences and retargeting has been an incredibly powerful part of Facebook for years, but not many realtors knew about it or know about it today. And even the people who are like seasoned realtors and are fully, capable on Facebook, it takes them a long time to make a custom audience on Facebook, and that's because they just don't do it very easily. But we have that software again. So if you click this button, which is inside Listings to Leads, and you call it, whatever you want to call it.
So we could call it our subdivision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
and this is the format. This is what the spreadsheet should look like right here with those titles and then those 4 columns.
Oh, just those 4 columns?
Yeah.
Oh, email, name, and that. So there's no address in there.
Right. I mean, you might get a list from your title partners or from Remind, and it might have all kinds of info.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
That's all we need. So you just delete columns and you get it to look like that.
Do you have to have all the columns, or could you just do email?
You can just do email. So sometimes you're going to need their name. So sometimes you have email, sometimes you have phone number, sometimes you have all of them, but Facebook somehow has a way of figuring that out, right? And so I do recommend that. But you get the format here, and you upload it here, and then you import it, and then it lives in your Facebook account. So even if you cancel and you don't work with us, those custom audiences are going to be part of your Facebook account, and you'll always be able to run ads and retarget in Facebook.
But it also lives in your Listing to Leads, right? As long as that's active.
No, I mean, it's connected to your Facebook account. The first part of connecting to this is you're connecting to your Facebook account. We don't hold those leads there. If you turn it on, if you do turn on custom audiences and retargeting, we do house your leads. We always store them here. We'll send them to your CRM if you want. So they're here, but we're not really holding on to your custom audiences. We're just uploading them to Facebook for you.
Another question is, if we have different subdivisions, let's say I want to do all 55 plus in certain areas. So I've got Sun Lakes and Cantera and a few others, and one has 250, one has 1,000, one has 700. Can I put them all in individually, or must I put them all in one CSV file to make that 1,000 name cutoff?
It's the latter. You got to get that 1,000.
Okay, so I can't put 3 little ones in. No.
Sorry.
But I can put in, let's say if I wanted to join 2 of them that are over 1,000, I'd call it, Trilogy and Encantera, and then we put those in, and she can have Cabrillo Canyon and the subdivision next to it and put those in as 1,000. That would work.
Yes.
And then you can put it in many times. You could have many separate ones.
Yes. Yes.
So we can have unlimited large subdivisions over 1,000.
Yep.
Okay.
And you that might be how your communities are designed. A lot of our clients also have lists that are 5,000 and 10,000 agents or leads long, right?
Yes.
Because maybe there's 30,000 people in that town and they just want them all there and they're just targeting those people over and over with that.
Yes. So we might have that and then a separate group
Yeah.
of the pinpoint group.
Mhm.
Okay.
What happens when you create an ad and you do a landing page on home value and you're sending it out to your audience, but you put like $100 limit on it?
Mhm.
And you've used up all your inquiries, so you've gotten your 10 touches or whatever,
Yeah.
and now person number 11 inquires, but you don't have any more money in there. What do they see?
They're not going to see it. You're going to get emailed by Facebook and saying like you're out of money, and they'll actually give you the option to add more budget.
Okay.
Yeah, it just because it doesn't function, even though it's a 7-day ad. And let's say that in 2 days you spent all your money because you got all kinds of leads. It just would stop being used because you achieved your goal. You spent your money and got your leads.
Okay.
In regards to the Google ads, do they have the same type of restrictions for the audience or who sees it?
Not exactly, but I know that there are some things that they have to pay attention to as well.
Like, can you do it by zip code?
I think you can. I
Okay,
think that Google never had some of the targeting that Facebook had. Facebook used to be, you could target their net wealth,
mhm.
net worth, you could target were they a homeowner and do they live in that zip code. This was too much for some reason. It was really effective for realtors and for us, but HUD decided this was not appropriate.
I know in Facebook, because I've done some ads in Facebook, like directly in Facebook.
Uh-huh.
So besides that radius, you can select a detailed targeting, even under the housing category.
Yeah.
And there's like one that says first time home buyer. Do you have that option with this?
No, I don't know. Let me look.
Okay.
Some of those things I don't really know what the heck where that data set is coming from, like Remind, for instance. Remind, if we click on advanced options, people living here, interests, these are the things that you're talking about. So let me type it. Like Remind sells first time buyer, right?
Yep.
First time home buyer, right? Like, okay, it's there, but I don't know if it's that valuable. Remind is a good example. They give you, if you go buy a list from Remind of homeowners in Chandler, you can say, I want 5 years equity, and I want, they have this concept of like high, medium, low grade of potential selling, right? And realtors know, like, that's not so important. Just give me all of them, right? Give me all the homeowners, because your grading is not necessarily like perfect. So here, where are they getting these data sets of first time home buyer?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I have no idea. So I don't really recommend that to a lot of these things. I don't really recommend. There are times like I've seen people say, hey, do they have an interest in golf? That might be interesting if I'm doing an ad on a golf course community, right? These kinds of things are okay, but some of the data sets, you can't tell where Facebook is getting them. They're just buying them and creating partnerships, but I don't know, what that means.
Hey, Vince, I don't know if there's a lot of interest from other people on this, but so the follow-ups, could you just kind of recap? Because I think that's so key. Once we get these leads in, as far as the follow-up tool. So once the leads come in, we can have them go directly to our CRM, correct? But they also come to us as well. And then your follow-up material has the documents, if you will, that we can load into our CRM that we can utilize as some of our touch points, correct?
No. So if you have it on, All you do is turn it on here, right? Click on and off.
Okay,
So let's say you're using Follow Up Boss, and let's say that you have a drip campaign in Follow Up Boss, and you connected it to our system. And so now your lead gets captured, gets dropped in Follow Up Boss, and you have this auto campaign going out for buyers or sellers. Right?
what is Follow-Up Boss?
That is a CRM. That's
Oh,
a
okay, got it,
separate-
okay.
Totally separate company. But you have a CRM and it has a drip campaign. This is what you use if you don't have a CRM or you don't have drip campaign. And
Okay, got it. So do you have any materials that you guys have created around dialogue and whatnot that we could utilize to create our drip campaigns in the CRM?
No. I mean, I guess you could come here and say, you know what, I like what these guys have done. Crazy. Let me click here. And if you click edit, you can copy this. Yeah, I mean, you could do that, but most CRMs have drip campaigns ready and written for you.
Yeah, no, I get that. I understand. I just wondered if you all had, materials as well. Okay,
The thing that I would recommend, and this is typically what we recommend for all of our clients, is you should have a CRM, right? Like, don't do this without one because you're going to wind up with a lot of leads. But what I recommend, and the follow-ups is there if you don't have a CRM, or if you're the kind of agent that has a CRM but doesn't know how to configure it, so if you're just paying for it, it's not doing anything, then turn on our follow-ups. We're going to help you just make it super easy, right? Wait, let me make sure I have something building up on my calendar.
and go ahead.
Yeah, I do have a call in 10 minutes. Give me a moment. This is something that I definitely recommend if you have a CRM with hundreds or thousands of leads in it, that whenever you have a listing at any status, you go here and you grab an e-flyer for your database. It's this flyer. You can copy it right here and you can paste it and blast it on your leads in your area. Now, one more thing I forgot to mention, and you're welcome to ask another question, but there's one thing I forgot to mention, and we were kind of messing with it before we started recording. And this is a real part of setup that I forgot to mention, and we got to talk about it. And there's this section called lead links. And lead links are on the sides, they're on the bottom of all your landing pages. They're on the sides of your e-flyers. They're on the sides of your single property websites and virtual tours. Okay. And so let's click here and we can see it. This is a single property website. We created these links here when we were all talking before the class kind of started, right? And these are all pointing for all of you to Mary's website, right? If I click here, it's going to take us to maryfick.myrealtor1 group, right? So right now, because we set it up as I was talking, that's what it's doing, right? Also, like a little more important is this link here, free home values, is pointing to the office landing page. So I want to make sure all of you, before you get listings in here, that you go to your lead links page. And you can see here that you'll always see Mary's URL there. Go get a link to your website, just like this, copy it, and just click edit and replace that with your own link so that those side links are being there. Now, one thing that I want to say here is, you all live in kind of different areas, I think, or you probably focus a little more in one town than the other agent. And I highly recommend that you do something like this. So let's just, let's see if I can paste that in there. No, wrong. copy this real fast. And people in these lead links work well when you are doing something like this. Now, I don't know what the price point is, but there's usually in your core markets, in the markets where you're really focused on, there's a price points where homes just are flying off the shelves and you know what that number is. Putting the number in the link there and then checking that box so that's always there is something that I definitely recommend that you do for any market. But if there's really a core town that you're focused in, you want to offer those kinds of things. That makes sense. Now, the free home value one is also very important because if you hover over it, you're going to notice that it says Realty One, and that means you need to go over here to your own landing page account. You can customize this to look like your area, but then copy the link because your link is going to have your username in it. And then you copy that and you go back to lead links and you wipe out the office one just by clicking the pencil and you put in your own one. Once you set that up, you're set there. And we should have talked about that on setup, but I forgot.
Hey, Vincent.
Yeah.
So, all these stuff is great. However, like you mentioned, it is a little overwhelming. And so with that being said, what would you suggest that we go and reference in order for us to kind of get, all the information that you're saying again, just to be reiterating?
Sure.
Do we contact you or do you think it's best to go off of YouTube kind of thing?
The first thing I would recommend is go set up your profile, do that setup, go here to create listing presentation and download this listing presentation. Because this is going to show you a lot of what we do. And this is obviously something you leave behind when you are talking to prospective home seller, right? So I would do that. And then I'm going to send you an email. I'm going to send Mary an email, and it's going to drive you to this page here. And I recommend that you watch these 3 calls, and it's going to say it in the email. Watch Get Started, which is right here, and watch Top Tools to Get More Listings, and watch Facebook and Google Ads. If you watch all 3 of these, it might sound a little bit repetitive, but you will understand what you can do with this system. And at that point, you're welcome to lean on our support team. You're even, you're even welcome to reach out to me. Usually our clients really only reach out to me the first month or 2 until they get off the ground, and then they totally know what's going on, and then it's quick questions and simple questions over to support. But if you need me in the future, I'm always around.
Perfect. Thank you.
Vince, I think there's a few of us who did the trial and then we got charged the $60, but we're in this group. So is Mary just going to send you those names, or how do you want to reconcile that?
Yeah, make sure and get me the names. And I am going to, we'll put those accounts underneath the office umbrella, and we'll cancel future charges. If you were just charged recently, we'll refund you too.
I have a question, Vince.
Yeah.
I signed up last year and then I canceled my subscription. I didn't use it very well.
Sure.
And now I try to do the free trial and it's not letting me because it says my account's still there. So I wanted to ask you, how do I go about this?
You should have an email from us
Okay.
that has new login codes.
Okay.
Don't create a trial, just log in at the top right of our website.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'll go look for your name and probably delete your old.
Aren't we now though, haven't we officially kind of started under the umbrella at this point?
Well, yes and no. Like there's because there's multiple questions coming here on this, but Mary had an account that was active prior to this. So we created this umbrella account. We created agent accounts for all of you, but because Mary had an active account, we just moved it under the office umbrella and canceled any future charges. So she doesn't lose any work. Sandra is different because her account was canceled. And so we can't reactivate a canceled account. It has to be sort of active. So in this case, we just created a new account for Sandra.
Right, and but Kim and Amber and I don't know if Cindy did it or not. It activated after their 14-day trial also. When I talked to Andrea from your company, she said she would speak to you and then maybe just refund them directly would be the best. So we don't screw up our billing as the team.
Yeah,
Does that sound?
that sounds right.
I'll send you a follow-up, but anybody else that needs a refund?
I'm in my trial period, so do I just cancel and then find that new login and log in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, send an email to support, Vince,
No,
to cancel.
No. Log into your own account,
Uh-huh.
go to your profile. And it's kind of different here, but billing, we don't have it. It says monthly plans, and on monthly plans down at the bottom right, you can cancel your account.
Cancel. So I don't recall, I'll do a search, but I don't recall. So I would have gotten a separate email from you guys with a different account number, my own credentials for this umbrella.
What is your name?
Cindy Nelson.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't recall getting it either.
No,
This-
I can't find it either.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get any type of email as well.
Let me give you your username and password
Oh, okay.
for each of you. It's your first name and last name with a capital in the first, just like this.
Okay.
That is your username and password. And yes, that's it. And you can change your password inside your account. That's how you get in. And when you come to our website, don't click this green button down here to create a trial. Up here, it says my account.
Got it.
You use it right there.
What was the password though?
Yeah,
to
what's the
use
password?
username?
Exactly the same as the username, which is your
Okay.
name altogether.
Oh, they're both the same. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so someone try that to make sure that you can get in.
Okay, so just to make sure that I'm understanding, if we have an account right now and we were charged, we're supposed to go in and delete this account and sign up with the new one.
Wow.
No.
No.
If you've had an account and if you've done anything with it,
Yeah, I mean, I've set up my whole account.
who is this?
Amber Smale.
Give me a second.
Okay.
I would email me. Ladies, you're gonna have to excuse me. I have a call that I need to jump on right now.
Okay.
Email me. And I'm Vince at Listings to Leads and just say,
Okay.
I have an account, it's set up. Can we move it under the umbrella? And
Okay.
then we'll do that, cancel the charges and
Okay.
et cetera, et cetera.
I'll send it over right now then. Thank you.
It works, by the way. I just did it.
Your first and last name in both
Yep.
places?
Yep. I'm in. Yep.
Okay,
I will-
excellent. Hey, thank you so much, Vince, for your time.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
If you need another call, let me know. And
All right,
we'll follow up.
Okay,
And
it doesn't work for me.
Okay.
it doesn't work for you.
Doesn't?
No.
Hold on, let's see. Oh, there's a number 1 at the end of yours. And that's because you have that old one.
Number 1 at the end of both of them.
I think so. If not, email me, we'll fix it.
It doesn't work.
Okay.
And just,
Then just email me, Vince at Listings to Leads. I gotta jump on a call here, so please excuse me.
Okay, I will do that right now. Thank you, Vin.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.